You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, gobble gobble gobble, turkey time. It's Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that's thankful for you.
Like 2 days ago.
Was thankful for you on Thanksgiving, which was 2 days ago. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm hungry.
Well...
There's plenty of leftovers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we have a great show for you this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a bunch of news to go over with you, but first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
Come on, Cranky, take it to the fridge.
It's specifically the leftovers.
Yeah, that's where the leftovers are at.
Yeah, that's right. Make yourself a sandwich out of some cold mashed potatoes and some turkey, and you just slap all that stuff on a roll.
Shepherd's pie sandwich.
A shepherd's pie sandwich. It's the best. It's the best leftover Thanksgiving meal.
That's about the best thing you can do with them.
Yeah, you just kind of slap all that stuff together, and oh man, good stuff.
Last year I made a ham.
Nice.
See,
nice.
I am of the school of, don't get me wrong, I don't hate turkey, but I definitely think I'm more about a ham on Thanksgiving than a turkey.
I agree.
I'm not the biggest ham fan. Turkey is fine. I mean, turkey is something that I eat seldom enough that it is kind of a special thing on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I might get it once or twice a year.
I still don't go nuts. I mean, for me, it's all about the mashed potatoes and the deviled eggs.
Oh, the deviled eggs.
Oh man, those deviled eggs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I am so hungry right now.
Well, then let's get through this quick so we can go get some food or something, get some leftovers. All right. So as of checking stuff out, I really haven't done much. I finished the DLC for Animal Crossing. Slight update to this. It is exactly what it is. It's a fun game, and I'm glad I am playing it.
And there's plenty of it. It sounds like it's a substantial amount of content.
It just keeps going and going. Yep, it is fun. I'm now in the process of going through and making homes for all of the special characters, especially the ones that have not popped up in the game previously. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I would, again, highly recommend.
When you make a home for like the special visitors, do they stop coming to your island?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
They keep popping up.
It's a vacation home.
It's a vacation home, so technically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Celeste and all them
No, they'll
still
keep
show
popping
up.
up. Oh,
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
I didn't know
Yeah.
how that worked.
It's basically a digital dollhouse that you get to design, but it's creative enough to kind of get that kind of.
I mean, isn't that just kind of
it scratches that itch in the back of your head? Yeah,
Isn't this kind of Animal Crossing as its core is
It
a
is
digital
little bit.
dollhouse?
It is a little bit.
It's like The Sims if nothing bad ever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. Getting attacked by like a tarantula or a scorpion or bees.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
But it also doesn't punish you in any way. It just kind of puts you back somewhere at your house.
At your house, yeah. But that's it. That's all I've done. You know, Thanksgiving week. It's busy times.
Yeah.
So
I've put plenty of time in the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas remaster.
Oh, fun. Okay.
It's something, that's for sure. I mean, it plays fine. It plays like Grand Theft Auto.
Or at least old Grand
Like
Theft Auto.
like old Grand Theft Auto. So like it's not fun.
Okay.
But boy, did they not put a lot of effort into it.
Well,
that's
like
for sure.
Yeah, it's what is it? The AI assisted like up-resing of things.
Yeah.
Pretty much broke like a lot of the visual gags, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, because a lot of things are just like misspelled because it was the computer guessing what the words were when it was upscaling the textures. I heard it's either that or they farmed out the textures to a third-party studio whose English wasn't their first language.
I would believe a mixture of the two, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, half the fun was just walking around and seeing all the dumb. Aside from listening to the fake radio, the stupid names on signs or billboards or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 6th grade level double
Humor.
entendres and humor.
How are the faces of the NPC characters? I've heard some of them can be pretty nightmarish.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the character animations are not good, but they weren't then either.
Gotcha.
They don't hold up because the voice acting is excellent, and the performances of the voice acting really clash with the like thunder.
How bad things look.
The Thunderbirds puppets. That is basically what the animation is. And the rain is surprisingly opaque.
Okay, sure.
So every time it rains, you can hardly see. And I found an invisible bridge in the countryside.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you just can't see it. You can walk on it.
Oh, nice.
So you're just like floating in the air.
Cool.
But you sure can't see it.
That's weird.
So like the company that literally made $1 billion in a day when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out decided they didn't want to spend any money at all.
Just as cheaply as possible.
I mean, they've been doing the Bethesda route and re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 100 times.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
But they have infinite money. They could have like treated these games like they deserve to be treated because they are kind of like important. Yeah, iconic.
Why would they do that when they knew people were going to buy it anyway?
That's true. And they had to have it out before Black Friday.
Yeah, it's almost like that quote from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. If you don't like it, change the channel. You'll be back.
It's true.
I think the only one I was really super excited about was Vice City. But also, it's because I like Vice City. It's all that neon 80s, BS, and I love that crap.
I read an article today that says that one looks really good. Like, they did a good job with the look of that one, I guess.
Huh.
I don't know. I can't play that. Well, actually, I probably could, because I think it's a freebie on PlayStation.
Nice.
I've been playing San Andreas because it's on Game Pass, and I didn't have to buy. There's no way I was going to...
Wait. I thought these were, like, bundled as a set. What do you mean you don't have one versus the other?
Well, the Game Pass one is just San Andreas.
Oh, what?
And I think the PlayStation Plus one is just Vice City. But if you buy these games yourself, your only choice is to spend $60 to get all three of them.
That's insane.
Which is way too much.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Not even the Crash and the Spyro ones were that much.
Yeah.
And those were like straight up built from the ground remasters.
And they did a good job. Those games are gorgeous.
Right? That's dumb. Oh, that makes me mad.
Yeah.
That puts me completely off of wanting to like buy that.
It should be like $30 at the most.
Yeah, for games that are older than probably a lot of our fans. I remember like working back at like Babbage's back in the day, and I had this stupid Vice City pre-order shirt.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It was like sky blue with like this Miami Vice text or like text that said Vice City across the chest.
Yep. Oh, Babbage's.
Right?
Yep. Old. Yes.
The GameStop before GameStop.
Yeah.
Good times.
I like the gangster rap setting for San Andreas.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Plus, Samuel L. Jackson's a crooked cop.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game. It was like their first really, really big one.
Yeah. It's so in-depth. There's so many stats you can, like...
Also, I think that was the
up
first
and-
Grand Theft Auto that had, like, DLC.
Did it?
Yeah, because you had, like, the Motorcycle Club stuff, and...
That was 4.
Was that 4?
Yeah, that was 4.
Oh.
Which is also a good one. That probably has my favorite storyline.
Is that the one with the Russian guy?
Yeah.
Cousin, let's go bowling. Oh.
Because after that story, that's why I was so disappointed with 5, because its story is not as good.
I mean, the story in 5's okay. It's this kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But you also, play 3 different protagonists, quote unquote. Even though Trevor's straight up a meth villain.
Anti-hero?
I wouldn't even call him an anti-hero.
No.
He's the worst.
I know these are different companies, but has the genre of Grand Theft Auto pretty much been taken over by the Yakuza series at this point? Because they're very... I mean, and I don't mean like Yakuza Like a Dragon, because that's like more like an RPG. But like the actual, like, old...
I don't know. They're really different.
Yeah,
They are?
Yakuza
Okay.
plays a lot different.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I guess I'm looking at this as a complete outsider, and I just see 2 cityscape open world games where a guy runs around and punches stuff.
I mean,
And does-
if you want to
gets
get
into
into
other-
like
other wacky
similar
extra.
games to like Grand Theft Auto, you'd have like your Saints Row series.
Oh yeah, Saints Row. I guess.
You had
True crime.
Oh man,
Streets of LA.
True Crime Streets of LA. That was a blast. Sleeping Dogs, the Hong Kong one.
I've heard that's really good, and I've never played it.
Like I played a little bit of it way back in the day. It was pretty good.
Okay, well then is Yakuza more like Shenmue then?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yakuza is the promise that Shenmue couldn't
fulfill.
Yeah.
Man, Shenmue was such a good game back in the day. I loved that game.
Yakuza is even better, man. All of them are good.
Was Shenmue good, or was it just so revolutionary at the time? If you were to go back and try to play Shenmue now, Shenmue is a semi-open world game where you basically wander around
80s Japanese town.
80s, yeah.
It's a rough play. I downloaded. They did like that cheap remaster that wasn't so much a remaster as like you can play it on your PlayStation 4 now if you want. And I didn't last 5 minutes.
I mean, I remember being really invested in the Shenmue story like when I was younger, to the point where I bought a European copy of Shenmue 2 because it was the last one released on the Dreamcast. Yeah, and I had a special disc to allow me to play imported games on my Dreamcast.
Nice.
And I played through it and I loved it and I wanted more, and then we never got it because Yu Suzuki promised us 7 games and it never happened. And
he promised 12.
Originally it was 7.
It's really 7? Well, he increased it to 12 and then came back and made Shenmue 3, which I've heard is not good.
Yeah, that just kind of came and went like a...
Like I remember
fart in the wind.
Like I remember when it was Kickstarted, and I was like, "Oh, neat," and then never thought about it again.
Well, it was Kickstarted, and then Epic Studios gave them a bunch of money to make it an Epic exclusive.
And then people got real mad.
Because they Kickstarted it for Steam.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, that does kind of suck.
That sucks. And then the game came out, and apparently they gave him a stamina bar where you have to eat constantly during the day, or you'll get too tired to do your kung fu. And also they took out all of the good fighting mechanics, the Virtua Fighter fighting mechanics. They basically tell you, just hit one of the face buttons and something will happen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's terrible. Because in the old Shenmue games, you had to actually like do inputs to do these moves.
There are no more inputs, from what I understand. I watched a video on it.
Man, why didn't he just make a Telltale game?
It should have been.
I mean, the story-wise itself kind of seems like a Telltale.
Yeah.
And then they like throwing you like, those quick time events and whatnot. Oh, I guess I'll never avenge my father.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it worked out that way.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently Shenmue 3 ends exactly the same way as Shenmue 2 as well.
He gets on a
huge cliffhanger?
Yeah, he gets in a fight with Lon D. Lon D basically beats him within an inch of his life, and then Lon D disappears.
Isn't there like a weird I remember like when I did beat Shenmue 2 way back, there was like a pseudo weird supernatural element to things.
Yeah, that's gone.
Like you find like a magic sword or something in China.
No, Lon D just gets on a helicopter and flies away. In Shenmue 3. He's like, you haven't trained enough.
I feel like
it's been 30 years and you haven't trained enough.
I thought that was the ending of Shenmue 2.
It's the ending of Shenmue 3 as well.
Oh.
It is, I guess the story is almost exactly the same.
Oh. No.
And the progression involves you getting a whole lot of money to buy quest-specific items, but there's no way to get a whole lot of money unless you spend all of your time gambling in randomly generated gambling.
It's like Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah. Yeah, it artificially inflates the play time by saying, well, shoot, I have to get 500,000 yen.
Play a lot of blackjack now.
And now...
So that was a mechanic in Shenmue 2 I hated, was all the gambling in the street, and like the street gambling.
I guess it's 95% of this new one.
At least in Shenmue 1, you had like the fun forklift job.
You didn't know you were getting Casino Kid.
Yeah.
So,
And Yu Suzuki says he wants to do a Shenmue 4.
Man, people aren't going to come running with their wallets this time.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the last Kickstarter for like Shenmue was more like a nostalgia rip.
Yeah.
Because like Shenmue 2 came out on the original Xbox.
It's a mighty number 9 is what it is.
That breaks my heart. Like right there, like anytime you think of like a bad Kickstarter of like, with rose tinted glasses, it's mighty number 9.
Well, Their biggest thing is they overpromised because they had never done a Kickstarter.
They wanted to release the game on every console under the sun.
They overextended, they overpromised, and they didn't realize that when you get $7 million on Kickstarter, you don't actually get $7 million on Kickstarter. So they based all of what they wanted to do off of the total amount and not their cut of factoring in Kickstarter's like
fees and stuff.
Fees and like 25% cut or something like that.
And then you
Kickstarter has to make their cut.
And then you have to make your rewards and things get pushed back. And then it also, I'm not trying to, they screwed up. It's a bad game.
Yeah.
But they also, it was bad luck that they released the game when they did because it was right at the cusp of a console generation change.
Yeah.
So then they had to, we got to put it on the newest one as well. So they ended up having like 12 SKUs or something like that. I don't think the 3DS version ever came out. The 3DS and PSP version never.
And they never said no, it's not. It just never.
They just stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Mighty Number 9.
There's always Bloodstained. That one went good.
Bloodstained went okay.
It's a great game, actually.
Yeah.
The spiritual successor to Castlevania.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It turned out really good.
Yeah.
Versus Mighty Number 9, which was supposed to be like Mega Man, but doesn't play like Mega Man at all.
Bloodstained took a long time to get there.
And then this one wasn't Kickstarted, but Balan Wonderworld, which was the spiritual successor to Nights into Dreams by the Sonic the Hedgehog guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
That was him. And that game, I guess, is cold booger on a paper plate.
Yeah.
I guess it's real bad.
I've heard nothing good about it.
Oh.
Well, I guess all of the face buttons do the same action.
Yeah.
It's made for tiny baby children, which is not the core audience of that game because these are people that played Knights and Sonic Adventure 20 years ago.
Like on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
It's basically, the concept is basically Mario Odyssey, but for baby children. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have a whole bunch of different outfits your character can change into to get one specific skill.
Yeah.
Huh.
But some suits don't allow you to attack and some don't allow you to jump.
In a 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's deeply flawed. Mm-hmm. The character designs are all really good, though.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
Wasn't Knights like big mechanic, like flying around and collecting rings?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And
that's what I remember.
And there is a hidden costume that will give you that power to do that, but it's not until you beat the game.
Oh.
Because Knights is a pretty rad game.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah.
I mean, I remember it was a big selling point on the Saturn.
I have it for my Saturn.
I remember way back in the day, like, I had, like, the dilemma of either getting a Sega Saturn or a PlayStation. I got a PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation was the right choice on that one.
Yep.
I didn't get my Saturn until way late. I got one off eBay like 4 or 5 years ago. My copy of Knights is a loose CD-ROM.
Oh, nice.
That I got off eBay.
Nice.
I remember, like, I think one of the things that, like, got me is, like, either wanted to play Knights and the Magic Knight Ray Earth RPG.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or I wanted to play, like, Tomb Raider and all those games on PlayStation.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
That was a big sell for me for some reason with the PlayStation when I'm a kid. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and it's scary, and it's for adults, and I'm a big boy now, so I should get that one.
And yet, I mostly played, like, dumb platformers like Gex.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Spyro.
Gex. Yep.
Where's our Gex remake?
Oh, gritty Gex reboot.
Did somebody get I forget the comedian's name now. I'm sure he'd do it.
Dana Gould.
Dana Gould, yep.
He would probably do it. Yeah.
Do you remember Captain Blasto?
I do remember
Yes.
Captain Blasto.
With Phil Hartman.
They were going to do a sequel.
And then,
And then
all that.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent game. It definitely shows its age, but I have played it not too long ago. Because that's what I do with my expensive laptop, is I play old video games on it.
When was the last time a really new game came out in the current generations? Most anything is a sequel to a long-running series or a remaster.
Or a spiritual successor kind of thing.
Or Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Which I did play to completion.
Oh, you did?
Oh, that's good.
And I really, really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
I wish that they could make DLC for it.
Yeah.
Why can't they make DLC for it?
Because they have to fix every perceived slight in the game because people are so mad that it's not the magical.
It's like people don't remember when The Witcher 3 came out and it was a buggy mess.
Well, it's not Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And people thought it was going to be...
Future Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, but it's not. It's more like The Witcher.
Which The Witcher is fine.
Yeah.
Not every cityscape game has to be Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, they're like, well, how come the police don't have complicated AI? It's like, well, because they don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the way it works is fine. You're not meant to go on Grand Theft Auto rampages. It's not what the game is about.
That's dumb.
Like, if you just go in there and enjoy the story and enjoy the vibes, the cyberpunk setting, which I love. Like,
see, I was going to say, you're kind of a mark for the cyberpunk vibes anyway.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
The story and the stuff with Johnny Silverhand is cool.
Yeah, I mean, Keanu, can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we hit the break, off mic, you mentioned that you watched the first couple episodes of Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, let's talk about Cowboy. Josh, did you watch Cowboy Bebop yet?
No.
Oh.
Okay,
well,
so I
have seen two polarizing opinions on Facebook. Either somebody loves it or somebody hates it. There's nothing in between.
Well, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's not Cowboy Bebop, for one. Like, they totally missed the mark on the feeling of the anime, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
The writing, like the dialogue, I guess I don't want to say the writing is bad. It's the dialogue that is bad.
Okay.
The dialogue is just abysmal.
Is it like the delivery from the actor's standpoint, or is it just like...
It's the writing. It's 100. The actors, everybody in it is pretty good, honestly. They're delivering those bad lines to the best of their ability. But every time it tries to be funny, it misses so hard. It tries to do the Joss Whedon-y, like...
That's kind of what it's afraid of.
Yeah, quippy action. And I was like, for one, that's not really what the original show was.
Yeah.
And two, they're doing a bad job at it.
So try to... I know it's difficult, but try to separate this completely from the original and just look at it as its own thing. How, like... Objectively, what do you think?
Objectively, divorced from the original anime, which, why'd they call it Cowboy Bebop if they weren't going to make Cowboy Bebop? But that's a different conversation.
Sure.
Divorced from the original anime, it is a perfectly middle-of-the-road, average to sub-average space western.
Okay.
It's good for Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The fights are good. The soundtrack is excellent because it's the same lady that did the other soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And the interplay between Jet and Spike is good. It's just not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard Vicious is bad.
He has this is weird, but he has like Lord Farquaad from Shrek vibes. Like, he just kind of looks like a white-haired Lord Farquaad.
I've heard all the wigs are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danielle Pineda is okay. Her hair's fine.
Yeah.
But Vicious is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw like a still, and I was like, he was making some weird face or something, and he had a gun, and I was like, I don't think Vicious ever had a gun. At least not in the original.
There's so much more like violence and fighting than there was.
Oh.
They had to do something to pad out the runtime because each episode's almost an hour long.
Ooh.
And they kind of do a running story the whole time instead of
being kind of episodic.
Yeah.
And well, that's what the mainstream audience is going to be looking for, is an overarching storyline.
Yeah. And the one anime that bucks that trend a little bit is the one they pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the carrying over story doesn't happen till way late game in Cowboy Bebop the anime.
Yeah, there's like little bits and pieces as you go.
Yeah, like Spike has a flashback or he meets somebody from his past. That. I mean, the one thing I did see from the show that I did like that they changed from the anime was the fact that Spike's name is an alias versus his old like syndicate name or whatever. Because the fact that he was part of like the Asian syndicate or the Chinese syndicate on Mars or whatever.
So, yeah, I haven't watched this show yet, so I don't have much of an opinion. I've never watched. I am going to watch at least an episode or two of the live action Cowboy Bebop. I've never seen the original.
I'll be interested to know what you think.
Yeah, that's going to be it. I'm just curious, having never, outside of seeing a couple of still images and hearing and knowing the main theme song from the show, because I mean you can't get away from that.
We should do a podcast where you watch you watch the live action an episode, you watch the anime an episode, you watch the live action an episode.
Oh yeah, special. No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
of Cowboy Bebop. Okay, yeah, I could do that. But
We
yeah,
could call it Cowboy Recap.
that's actually a really good name. That's a good name for a show. I like it. TM. Do not,
Netboy Bop Flicks.
That just sounds like the weird language from the junk Transformers from the movie.
Eric Idle.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say it's absolute trash because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 3 episodes and I wasn't miserable.
Yeah.
I've heard they don't handle the iconic moments that well.
Oh no, they're very ham-fisted. Oh, and I didn't mention Faye is a completely different person. She is more like action lady girl, space girl boss, whereas original Faye is like a sly trickster.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was like her whole that was her whole thing in the original show. Was like, yeah, she could like fight and stuff like that and use guns and whatnot, but she was more like a scammer, like a grifter kind of character.
She's Fujiko from Lupin.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just like a tough space girl boss that fights everybody and is tough.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which I always thought Faye has like there's a little bit of insecurity in her character too.
But that's not present here.
But it's not present here, yeah.
Ah, gotcha. All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here. When we get back, we'll talk about some news.
Hello, I'm Ben Vaughn, the host of The Many Moods of Ben Vaughn, heard every Saturday night at 8 p.m. here on WZMO 104.7 FM. We span many decades, many styles, and many moods on my show. So tune in to The Many Moods of Ben Vaughn every Saturday night at 8 p.m. See you then.
Hello, I'm Greg Dunham, the host of Long Play here on WZMO. I just wanted to take a minute to assure our many fans and listeners that my staff and I take our job seriously here at WZMO. We will always strive to bring only the highest quality audio entertainment to you and yours. Who am I kidding? We just grab whatever album's on top of the stack. Join us every Friday at 11 p.m. and Saturday at 3 p.m. for Long Play. Tune in to see what we've come up with this week. Catch us every weekend right here on WZMO.
Hey, we're back. You just listened to a couple of ads for various shows on the network. Thanks for sticking with us. Let's go ahead and get into some of this news.
It stinks.
It might be a little preemptive because of the first bit of news we're going to talk about, but I'm trying to see the future of what this is. So the first thing on our docket, Peacock, the streaming network for NBC, is going to be releasing a miniseries called Bel-Air, which is a gritty modernization of the sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
When he gets in the fight, did he kill the guy? Is that why it's gritty?
I bet so. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of news with this. Peacock really just had a teaser trailer, like a 10-second teaser trailer. Will Smith is executive producing this, and it was kind of his thought to do a gritty reboot. Between his thought and also someone did a parody YouTube video of gritty.
So this is Power/Rangers.
This is Power/Rangers, but they're actually making a series out of it, basically.
And it had like Will Smith doing like a voiceover, like
speaking the theme song to, but very dramatically, right?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Sort of.
The only way this will work is if it's as tongue-in-cheek as it sounds.
Yeah, I I don't know if I want... I don't think the world really needs a gritty reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, okay, so what kind of stuff are they going to do? You mentioned Will is going to accidentally murder a guy in Philly, and that's why he has to go to Bel-Air, right?
Or maybe he could like witness a crime and have to go into witness protection in Bel-Air.
That could be another way. What other gritty stuff are they going to do? So Uncle Phil was a judge, so I'm sure there's going to be some kind of crime.
Now he's a crooked judge.
Now he's a crooked judge. Sure. What are we going to do with Carlton?
You got to think as Riverdale as possible.
Oh yeah, okay. Which of the cousins is a secret drug addict? I'm guessing Hillary.
I don't know enough about Fresh Prince to participate.
There was Hillary and Ashley and Carlton.
And Carlton does the dance.
Carlton does the dance. So Carlton is going to be like weirdly ostracized and super bullied in school or something.
I mean, wasn't he always?
Well, yeah, but it was played for laughs before, and now it's going to be super serious. And
who's in a cult?
Who's in a cult? Oh, Ashley.
Okay.
100%. Oh, is Jeffrey going to be Jeffrey the butler? Jeffrey Butler, the butler?
He's embezzling money.
Is he embezzling money? Is he a secret crook?
He is has a conspiracy to kill the whole family.
Okay, sure. I like it. What about Jazz? Or will they keep Jazz the same? Will they keep throwing him out of the door as like, oh, this is the one thing we want to keep from the original show? But like he gets injured every time they throw him out the door.
Yeah, he's homeless.
Jazz is homeless. Yes, that's it. Yeah. This sounds depressing.
Yeah, well, they said gritty reboot.
Yeah,
that
that's
goes
true.
with the territory.
That is very true.
I don't know. I feel like this might just fall on its face.
I hope it's not more than like 5 episodes.
Oh, I think it's going to full series.
Oh no.
And part of me wants to hate watch it, but part of me doesn't want to give them the extra numbers.
Yeah.
In order to inflate their numbers to get a second season.
Don't get me wrong. I like Will Smith, and
I love Will Smith,
and I'm sure this is like going to be like his baby.
Sure,
but at the same time,
I don't think we need a gritty reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Does anyone actually have Peacock?
Not that I know of.
I don't know anybody who has it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So then it's not going to do numbers. It might do numbers for Peacock, but it's not going to do like
major.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't think of anyone who's such a huge fan of the Bel-Air franchise.
Listen, I love that show when it was on originally. I loved Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I caught an episode here and there. I never really sat down and watched it.
I never watched it.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, some of the stories, it never went as far as like later seasons of Family Matters. Like it didn't get wacky crazy, but the stories were always really good.
You mean how the show eventually just kind of revolved around Urkel?
Became the Urkel show? Yeah. No, this there was one of my favorite episodes. Will and Carlton go to sneak off to a bar to play pool.
Is this the one with the gun?
No, this isn't the one with the gun, but they get hustled out of a whole lot of money.
Oh, I remember this one. It's one, yeah. Okay.
And they they have to go to Uncle Phil and say, we lost just a whole bunch of money and we're sorry, and these guys are going to break our kneecaps if we don't pay them. And instead of like getting the police involved, Uncle Phil goes down to the pool hall and is like, okay, so to clear the debts, I'll play you in a game. And they're thinking, okay, this is an older guy. We can take him, no problem. And as soon as they agree, he goes, "Will, go get Lucille."
No, the butler. The butler.
Jeffrey, go get Lucille. And he brings
he loses a bunch.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he loses. I remember this.
Okay,
he loses a bunch.
Yeah,
and he keeps betting. And then like he does the whole hustle turn.
Hit the hustle turn.
And pulls out his own pool stick.
His pool stick, Lucille. And
just runs the table.
That's it. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yep.
I remember the one where Will gets shot.
Yeah, there's one where Will gets shot.
And then Carlton goes like full kind of like avenging friend or whatever and gets a gun.
Yeah.
And it's like their gun PSA episode. Mm-hmm. And then there's the one where Will's dad shows up and it turns into that horrible heart-wrenching thing.
That is the sad one that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
This has been Two Princes, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air recap podcast.
I would do that show. I would do that show.
Well, I just named it. You guys can do
Now
it.
we can
It's
do
called
it.
Two
Yeah.
Princes.
Yeah.
Here's your crown, King.
All right. So moving on to some other stuff. You guys pick a topic. I picked the first one.
Hey, so you know that Mario movie we talked about a while ago?
Yeah.
There's been a little trickle of news. Apparently, Chris Pratt is not going to do like an Italian voice for Mario, which fair enough. He shouldn't.
Sure, that's fair enough.
He's not Italian, and also that voice is a pretty bad stereotype.
Sure.
But he's not going to do his regular voice. He's going to do a voice, and we don't know what that is, but the people who are making the movie seem to think we're going to be impressed when we hear it.
Okay.
Which, like, if you're making a Mario movie and he doesn't sound like Mario, then is it Mario? If a Mario falls in the woods and it doesn't sound like Mario...
Is it a him?
Yeah. I submit that it is not.
I guess I'm a little confused by this. So they went out of their way to stunt cast an actor who is not typically known for being a voice actor.
I mean,
to play the character.
The few outings he's had in voice acting, he just sounds like a hyper version of himself.
He sounds like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
So if they cast someone to do the Mario voice and the actor is doing a voice that is not their own voice, why are you stunt casting the person? Why not get someone who is a little more well versed in voice acting who can do a better job with it? Because it is a common misconception that any old actor can just hop into the booth and do their thing. You can always tell when a regular actor is doing a cartoon voice because it's just their voice, whereas a voice actor has a wide range. It's a skill set.
Yes and no. It depends on the voice actor.
Well, there are some voice actors that are. It is like they're known for one voice. Yardley Smith is known for Lisa Simpson because that is the one voice she does.
That is her voice.
That is her voice. Yeah.
Steve Bloom is Steve Bloom in everything.
Yeah, but there are. I mean, even with Steve Bloom, there are variations of Steve Bloom. John DiMaggio is John DiMaggio and everything, but there are variations.
You wouldn't mistake Jake the dog for Bender,
right? But like I'm thinking maybe, okay, as much as I love Tom Hanks and I love the Toy Story movies, there is no mistaking that Woody the cowboy is Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He's just a very excited Tom Hanks.
And when they did the Polar Express, the 3 or 4 different roles that Tom Hanks voiced in that film, it's all Tom Hanks.
Well, like Tara Strong, she does a lot of different characters, and they're not all obviously her. Like
right,
like Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents is completely different than
Twilight Sparkle,
Harley Quinn. Yeah,
Harley Quinn,
Twilight
sure.
Sparkle.
And I get okay, but getting back to the point I'm trying to make here is unless they want him to be a variation of Chris Pratt, why are they casting Chris Pratt? Why not get a voice actor?
Because he's so cool.
Is he though?
No, he's
That's
not.
what Miyamoto said during
true.
that reveal.
That's right. He did say that he is so cool. Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, the more like it seems like people talk about Chris Pratt, I mean, whatever Chris Pratt wants to do with his life and whatever, but he's definitely kind of become like a weird heel turn.
Yeah, everybody was going nuts about that Instagram post he did about his second wife.
Yeah, with his new kid.
Yeah, it was really weird and had some bad optics on it.
Well,
it's not just that. I mean, he adopted the cat from Stuart Little, and then when the cat got old and incontinent, instead of taking care of the cat, he just went online and like, hey, who wants this cat? And just gave it away.
Yeah.
Who wants this problem? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize he married Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Oh, yeah. He is, yeah.
I didn't realize.
Which makes him tangentially related to the Kennedys. The Shrivers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Are in the Kennedy dynasty.
Huh.
Yeah.
Celebrities are weird.
Yeah.
So you can connect Mario directly to the Kennedys now if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And also Kevin Bacon probably because everyone is connected to Kevin Bacon.
Man, that's a game I haven't played in a long time.
I mean, we could probably technically us in this room can be connected to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, we got a big in with Lloyd Kaufman. You can definitely
Lloyd Kaufman. I was also thinking guy I went to high school with, and we hung out a few times. Patrick, you remember Patrick?
Yeah.
He did acting. He was an extra in Kimmy Schmidt, which you could probably at that point trace Ellie Kemper back to Kevin Bacon. So technically,
can trace Ellie Kemper back to some stuff. For sure.
You could trace her back to all kinds of things, apparently. But we're not going to get into that.
I went to school with a girl named Emily Fitzpatrick, who was in that movie with Justin Timberlake about time.
Oh yeah,
Butterfly Effect.
No,
that's Ashton Kutcher.
That's Ashton Kutcher.
I'm way out of line on that one.
And then
it's the one where he has like the timer on his on the forearm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was also in that movie, the sequel to The Collector, The Collection.
Nice.
And she was in I want to say a Smash Mouth music video.
Nice.
So yeah.
So what we're saying is we're basically celebrities.
Yeah. Our Kevin Bacon number's probably smaller than yours.
Yeah.
That means something for sure.
Oh yeah. Our bacon number.
Yeah.
Bacon.
Mm-hmm. All right, some other stuff. Let's see. We actually have some fighting game news.
Yeah, we actually have a couple.
Which, I guess I'll be doing a lot of the talking on this one.
That is definitely more your wheelhouse.
It is
anything.
a little bit. So they announced, they showed off Project L, which is the League of Legends based, or I guess technically the Runeterra, the fighting game set in the Runeterra video game universe. It's the League of Legends fighting game that we've been... there have been rumblings about here and there for the last couple of years. Yeah. But you know what? They showed off a little bit of the game. They had a good 6-minute video with two of the project leads, who, as it turns out, are the guys who created rollback netcode, the good netcode, the way that you play fighting games online where it doesn't break and is constantly awful. But
they've never worked on a Nintendo project.
No, never. Not even once. They've never worked on a Nintendo project or Tekken or Street Fighter. Any of the big ones
outside of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a 2v2 tag style game, very reminiscent to some of the older Marvel.
Marvel, baby.
It's Marvel. When's Marvel, baby? No, Marvel versus Capcom, and having no attachment to any of the characters in it. I'm sure there are people that saw it and like, oh my god, it's the blue hair with the shark bazooka, and that guy that just looks like a Big Knight or whatever.
His name is Big Knight.
Big Knight. Big McLarge Huge, the Knight. Having no attachment to the characters, it looks like a solid game.
Yeah, it looked good.
It looked really, really good.
I keep hearing that League of Legends the Netflix show is good.
The Arcana or whatever, Arcane or something.
But the game puts such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't want to do not interact.
See, that is the thing. I am salivating over the idea of how toxic the League of Legends fighting game community is going to be, because fighting game communities can be toxic to begin with. Also, League of Legends communities are incredibly toxic.
It's like the toxic
There's
community.
an entire Twitter account called Scrub Quotes that is nothing but quotes that people from fighting game tournaments have said over the years that are just bad takes. There's an entire term in fighting game called Johns, where you basically, if you lose a bunch of games, you blame... Oh, no, this isn't my controller. I have an upset stomach. This is bad. It's not my fault. I'm actually really good, you guys. Yeah. But mixing those two communities together, especially because the Project L is going to be free to play with
so any old Yahoo can get in there.
with paid for microtransactions. I have a feeling they're going to go the Killer Instinct reboot route, which
is how League of Legends itself
where
works.
you buy the characters. Like to download the game is free, and you get a free. The game rotates what playable characters are usable week to week, but if you want to pay, you pay to unlock the characters
And
to
I'm
use
sure
at all
there'll be
times.
I'm sure there'll be skins,
Skins,
that,
battle
man.
passes, optional colors, boosts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Stages, all that stuff. The other fighting game is one I'm not as familiar with. I mean, even less so than League of Legends. It's called DNF Duel. It is a dungeon fighter online fighting game. And I guess it's a Korean RPG. Is that right?
MMO. It's a Korean, like a beat 'em up MMO combination.
Okay, gotcha.
It's an old game up there with like MapleStory.
Gotcha. But it is
Ragnarok.
But it is, in essence, a Dungeons and Dragons fighting game.
Yeah.
Like basically, your characters are not named characters; they are whatever class system from that original game. You have one fighter, one monk, one gunslinger, whatever. I'm not sure what they would do with the cleric in a fighting game, but
I mean, if it was like a D&D cleric,
I mean,
they
I
can
guess-
fight.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
battle cleric.
That's true. But I mean, it also looks good. This one's actually being worked on by Arxis, who do they do a whole bunch of stuff. Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and the Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
The Persona one.
The Persona one. The Persona Fighter one is actually really good.
I've heard Fighters, like Dragon Ball Fighters is good. I just never played it.
Fighters is okay, but it's there are too many Gokus and Goku adjacent.
Oops, all Gokus.
Yeah, the game is literally Oops All Goku.
I mean, yeah.
Do you want regular Goku, Super Saiyan Goku,
Super Saiyan God Goku.
Ultra Instinct Goku, Goku Black, Young Goku, Vegeta, who is basically Goku, Gogeta, who is basically Goku and Vegeta together.
Well, yeah.
Bardock,
Goku's dad.
What's his name? The green-haired one, who is basically Big Goku.
Broly?
There are two versions of Broly.
Well, yeah,
in the game.
there's old Broly and then there's canon Broly.
Yeah. There's...
Yeah. I miss back in the day of like the original Budokai game where you had one character and then you could spec out your transformation powers. So you just had Goku, and if you wanted to be like Super Saiyan 2 Goku, you had to have like that thing slotted or whatever, instead of just making every form its own character, which is stupid.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple of quick hits here. Let's see. What do you think? Koji Pro. Let's talk about Kojima Productions.
Yes. Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid and Death
Stranding fame, yes.
His company has started another branch to make TV shows and movies, which is what he wants to do anyway, so he might as well go
He has
at
wanted
it.
to make movies as long as he's been making video games.
Yeah.
And that is very apparent.
Oh yeah, I mean his games are incredibly wordy.
Yeah, I am curious to see how this goes, because it is going to be both the best and the worst thing.
Because his video games are bad movies.
They are bad movies with way too much dialogue and very heady concepts.
Yeah.
And I am curious. I am just dying to see how they squeeze. How would you turn Death Stranding into a 2.5 hour or 3 hour movie?
Yeah.
You can't.
How do you make a movie out of a 20-minute codec conversation?
Yeah. The movies are going to be 90% exploratory dialogue, and just filled to the brim with like double and triple entendres and references to things.
Or like in Metal Gear 5, 4. Metal Gear 4, they have just hours long conversations, and while you do that, you get to like look at eggs cooking.
Yeah. Well, need I remind you, in Death Stranding, the S in Strand stands for Strand.
Of course it does.
Yeah, because you strands, you tie them together to make knots.
That's the genre.
That's where you bring
of
them
the
together,
game.
and also it's a last name, and also
it's the genre of the game. It's a strand game.
it's a strand game. Yeah, and strand is also an acronym, and the S in Strand stands for Strand.
But he's gonna make a movie, and
Oh my God, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be wonderful and horrible. It's going to be the best bad movie.
yeah, it's gonna be different,
Oh,
and it's gonna have Norman Reedus in it, probably.
Oh, without a doubt. Okay, question. Will is Norman Reedus the right choice to play what's his name from Police Knots?
Oh.
Because I could see that being turned into a movie.
Yeah. Oh, I'd see a Police Knots movie like right now.
Yeah, but will Norman Reedus be
the Mel Gibson?
The Mel Gibson, because it's basically Police Knots is Lethal Weapon in space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd work fine.
Yeah. Why not? Mads Mikkelsen would have to be in there somewhere because
Why not?
yeah.
We could do Snatcher too.
Oh, you could do. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Just I think of like all the concepts that are like, because most of my Kojima like exposure comes from the Metal Gear games.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically just Japanese Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Yeah.
put it.
Like
When you have a 3-hour movie and 2 hours is going to be one guy talking about how much he hates nukes.
Yeah.
That's the Kojima experience.
The DARPA chief had a heart attack. What's going on, Colonel?
And then a fat man on roller skates comes in and he's got bombs.
Yeah.
And there's a vampire, but he's not really a vampire. But
robot man in stiletto heels using his samurai sword to cut up everyone.
and he's got milk for blood.
Yeah.
or your Alaskan native minigun guy.
Your sniper has to wear a bikini at all times, but it's okay because she has photosynthesis and that's how she eats
And breathe.
and breathes.
Oh, quiet.
It's the worst. You know what? I give Kojima all the credit in the world, but Quiet was like the worst decision he's ever made, bar none, as a character.
I mean, yeah, he always has like some kind of like, quote unquote sexy female character in his games. Like,
Yeah.
you had like Sniper Wolf and you had Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3
Yeah.
and then Quiet.
Quiet is like, I hate everything you stand for, but also the lizard part of my brain is going, ooh, sexy lady.
Well, yeah.
Snake, do you believe love can bloom on the battlefield? It's just like one of my Japanese animes. Freaking Otacon.
All right. Kirby is up for a Grammy, like the little pink puffball.
Yes, the Pink Boy Kirby. Apparently, an arrangement of a song from a Kirby game, it's a Meta Knight theme, is nominated to receive a Grammy.
That's awesome.
Which begs the question, does Kirby accept the Grammy or does Meta Knight?
Well, I think Meta Knight will grab it, but Kirby will eat it off the stage. He'll be like, I'm gonna let you finish, but
Yep, that definitely.
yeah, that's it. That's the one.
And then the power he gets is mic drop.
Yeah. Well, then, Kirby will use the microphone and then everyone in the room will die.
Yeah.
Or vanish.
Vanish.
I mean,
yes.
it's fine. I mean, I like to see video game music getting, its proper.
Yeah.
Some of the best, most intricately composed music is from video games. Like, give it credit.
Absolutely.
I mean, the entire time we were like talking about Kojima and stuff, I had like the different arrangements like from like Metal Gear games playing in my head, like those real soulful like oh
yeah.
Or any song from any Castlevania.
Oh man! At the end of like season 2 of Castlevania on Netflix, and they played Bloody Tears.
Oh yeah,
that is like one of my favorite scenes ever.
And I love that they saved it for they saved the Castlevania music for just the right moment to just completely blow your mind.
Awesome.
Oh, it was the best.
All right, well, hey, we have actually hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up for the week. You have been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon, and now TikTok at Nerd Overload Now.
You can send us an email at staff@nerdoverload.com or give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline, 586-372-8020. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show. And don't use the phone number to sign up for a Robinhood account. That's bad.
Did someone do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's just excellent news. You can find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
See ya, Space Cowboy.